9.4, number 32, find the radius of convergence. So where does it converge? We've got x's and n's. We use the ratio test, so the n plus first, x minus 5 to the 2n plus 1 over n plus 1 to the 3 halves, divided by the nth term, so we'll just multiply by the reciprocal, so n to the 3 halves over 4x minus 5 to the 2n plus 1. Alright, so this over this, n to the 3 halves, or n plus 1 to the 3 halves, is the same as n over n plus 1 to the 3 halves. And then I've got the x stuff, so I've got 2n plus 3, so 4x minus 5 to the 2n plus 3 over 4x minus 5 to the 2n plus 1. And the limit as n goes to infinity. That's 1 over 1. So this is going to become 1. 1 to the 3 halves is 1. Okay, so now we just have this to clean up. Well, there's 2 more of them on top. This is 2n plus 1, that's 2n plus 3, so I have 4x minus 5, 2 more of them on top. Has to be less than 1. Okay, so we can figure out the interval of convergence, and we can find the radius. So we can do, first of all, the absolute value isn't necessary because we're square rooting it, but we could do a square root, or squaring it, so we'll do square root, so we get 4x minus 5. Now it's kind of necessary, but the plus or minus gets figured out when we do the absolute value. So this is the next step. We just do square root that, and we have our answer. So we're almost in the form where we could recognize what the center and the radius are, but it's not in the form x minus a yet. I can pull out a 4 and then divide by 4. So now I can look at it, and the center is 5/4, the radius is 1/4. And if we're not sure, just based off of what we have here, we can always just solve any of these inequalities, or these absolute value inequalities. So let's just use this last one here. So I have x minus 5/4 can be less than 1/4, or the opposite of x minus 5/4 would be less than 1/4. So add 5/4, x is less than 6/4 or 3 halves, and negative x plus 5/4 less than 1/4. Subtract 5/4, so x is less than negative 1, and then divide by negative 1, so x, switch the sign, is greater than 1. Alright, so on a number line we have to be greater than 1, less than 3 halves. So if this is 1 and that's 3 halves, our interval of convergence happens right there. Our interval of convergence is from 1 to 3 halves. My center is right there, whatever is in the middle of 1 and 1 1/2. So that's 1 1/4 or 5/4. And then our radius is the distance from our center to both directions, the end. So it'd be 1/4 that way, 1/4 that way. So that means our radius is 1/4 with a center of 5/4. But you weren't asked that. So looking back at this form, you can see that the center is 5/4 and the radius is 1/4. But we just verified that by solving that absolute value inequality.